present by implementing biblical based tools for inner healing of the heart and mind. Is that
Yeah. So
good?
did you have anything else that you wrote, or is that all of it? Like, just wondering if you have a smaller message you started, or is that everything?
So I don't have a smaller message, but I have certain words. Like there's a bunch of words I have here that um I've done some research on um that I could incorporate into my mission statement. Divine is definitely a word that the Lord has given me, that I've heard from the Holy Spirit. And I'm just not sure how he wants me to incorporate that into my business yet. But that is a word that he's given me as well. And this was early on.
So what I think I heard you say, well, what came through most to me, and tell me if this is the intention of where you want your message to go, is the result of working with you is inner healing of the heart and mind. And the way you do that is with biblical based tools.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So do you like the idea of divine being a description for the type of healing then? Divine healing.
Yes. I think that fits definitely. Yeah.
I'm asking because if God gave you
Yeah,
the word, I don't want to misinterpret how we use it, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that would fit very, very well in there though. Divine healing. I've never thought of that. Absolutely.
Only if you think that that applies, if that's accurate, because there are lots of people who might use that word divine in a very different way. We know that, goddess type stuff, that kind of thing. But from a Christian perspective, I think you can be really confident that your audience will know that's not the direction you're in. And it's like in context, right? In context, your message will have the image that goes with it, your lovely face encouraging them, like all of it together. So we want to get the message as close to what you want it to be as possible. But I just wanted to let you know that, like, feel confident when you choose these words, that even though the world might have other uses for them, in your brand realm, it'll be pretty hard to misinterpret you, right? We want to be as clear as we can. So the trauma from fragmented relationships, if you already know that you want to use this from broken to Christ message, like overall you like that, then I would suggest use the word broken instead of fragmented. You don't have to look for another word. Yeah.
So from okay.
Yeah. So maybe it's something like helping women experience divine healing, helping broken women. Is that accurate? Broken women, or is that the wrong idea?
No, that is absolutely 100% what I'm going for, is helping broken women. Yeah.
Okay, yay. So we're getting there. So I want to help us like remove all the extra words, but also the ones that are left, we want them to be used right. So how do you feel about something like helping broken women experience divine healing
in the living room, you come
through biblical based tools or God's leading or whatever you want the end to be?
Hey, I wanted to record because I can.
That sounds a little less complex.
But is it accurate for the way you work and what you do?
Oh, it is definitely accurate. Yes, I think my wording was maybe a little too much. Maybe I was going a little too deep into it, more than what I should have, I think. Because I spent a lot of time on thinking up these words and looking up definitions and trying to make it sound right in my mind. But just because it sounds right in my mind doesn't necessarily mean it sounds good to everyone else, right?
Well, the
So,
trick is, like, we all
yeah.
face this. We're trying to say so much because we want to be clear. And one of the things that helps with this is a tagline, if we have one, that can help clarify that bigger message, if need be, like bookends. The other thing is, on something like a web page or a landing page for an opt-in, you'll have bullet points that do the job for you of explaining, right? The bullet points will be there for, well, how does Jessica do this? Through biblical-based tools. And, you know, who is this for? For women who have experienced trauma, for women who come from broken homes or broken relationships. You'll have an opportunity in the rest of your marketing to explain those things. So you want your message to be the umbrella for those things, knowing there'll be raindrops all over the place that enforce that. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
So back to your message, let's see if this lands for you. If you like helping broken women experience divine healing,
Mm-hmm.
what's the end of that? Do you want it to be through biblical-based tools or through God's teaching, or
So
you like?
I want them to find Christ in a whole, you know, I want them to just be healed of any type of trauma or pain or, you know, any brokenness that they're going through.
So I heard
Yes.
helping broken women experience divine healing through Christ.
Yes.
Because I know
That is
you're
okay.
the vehicle or you're the vessel, but through Christ and all the many ways he's going to do that, you don't really need to explain that in a message. To me, that's clear. Does that reflect what you want it to? Helping broken women experience divine healing through Christ.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to say yes.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's very, and that's very cut and dry too. It's just, you know, straight
That's a
to.
really clear one. I'm happy that you
No,
were so clear.
yes, yes. I like I said, I think I put a little bit too much into the wording, because this could be a little confusing for some people the way I originally worded it. So
Well, let me encourage you there. It wasn't confusing to me. It was just more than you needed to say, I think. Because I couldn't have helped create this with you if you didn't have all of that done. Like,
right.
we pulled that out together. So if you're happy with that, to me, it's clear. And from a brand perspective, I think it's doing the job that a brand message needs to do. It describes what you do, who you serve, and actually talks about a difference. It's not divine healing through crystals or other things that others might do. It's divine healing through what? Through Christ. So to me, it ticks all the boxes for a strong message.
Okay.
I'm seeing nodding in the group too, so I think people are agreeing.
Awesome.
Are you going to run with that one?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I have one more question. So when I do workshops after I get everything up and running, do you recommend that when I do these workshops that I use the same name for my workshops, or can I go with different names?
Oh, that's a great question. So you can brand anything you do a little bit differently with keeping the integrity of your original brand. So if what you're saying here, that this, we've just established how you're going to describe yourself to everyone. It's going to be everywhere that you market, this message should be coming through. So then you could create, I'm going to make this up, you could create the Divine Healing Workshop for Women Part 1. You could do the Divine Healing Workbook. You could do Healing Through Christ seminars, like pieces of your message that echo who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and what makes you different. So if I'm hearing your question right, You don't have to call this the broken women's, whatever. You can pull out pieces of your message, just honor that message, and you could name it whatever you want as long as that overarching message is held true through everything.
Okay. All right.
Does that make it easier or harder?
No, it made it a lot easier.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Good. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to go in the chat because I don't know how we're doing this. Okay. Okay, Gloria, where did she go? Gloria, you're up next if you want to come on. There she is.
Right here.
Hi.
Hi.
So what's your message now, or have you got one, or what are you working with?
Well, I've had a brick and mortar for medical grade skincare for a little over 3 years now. And I'm a registered nurse. So my business is Body Glow Boutique. And my tagline is feel good in your skin. My colors are gold with a gray circular kind of star bursting out with Body Glow Boutique gold and gray in the logo. So I'll chat with you. I've had this for years now. So going through all of your teachings and shares, I'm thinking, oh, do I need to change things? If I do, how do I do it? What would it look like? I feel like I'm kind of embedded in it now. So I'm open to more if there's something that will benefit my business.
Well, is there anything about what you have that you think isn't working?
Anything I have that's not working.
Because we can rework everything, but do we need to? Like, the question is, if you're really happy with your message, if you're happy with your business results, if you think your clients are clear, then you may have already done what you needed to do there. So that's why I'm asking, is there something you feel needs to change?
No, I think that there could be room for change. I don't know if my message is clear. I don't know if they get it. So
you mean the message feel good in your skin?
Yeah. If there's something that would be more attractive for women, I think that I go with when you did the first one, breaking it up with sincerity, because a lot of the ladies that I do treat, we end up speaking about relationship a lot, like their relationship, husband, children, extended, co-workers. So there's a lot of ministry in my business also. And I am not shy to speak about God and how God has healed many things and blessed me. So they are actually quite attracted to that. And I have women who will text me privately going, Glow, can you pray for me? So there's a piece of it that I'm thinking, well, maybe there needs to be a bit of a change or something that'll attract more of that. I'm not sure. This is new to me.
Well, first of all, you have the perfect first name for a skincare business. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Like, what person doesn't want a glow, right? Like, that's why we do these things. So I think that's naturally brilliant to use the glow part. If you wanted to, you could include glow in your message.
Okay.
To make those things match. So you have the Body Glow Boutique, the name of it, your name, obviously, and then the feel good in your skin. Another way of saying that, there are many ways, but other ways of saying that is, glow into yourself or stuff like that. You can use the word glow instead of go. Like, we could come up with 1,000 options, but I guess I hear what you're saying is that through your business, there's other ministry going on, and that's the nature of Christian entrepreneurship. When your business isn't, speaking from a pulpit or that kind of thing, we are Christian entrepreneurs, and our business is our ministry, right? So
Mhm.
that's going to happen anyway. But I would encourage you to stay true to what do you say you offer as a business. We're going to assume that you'll be ministering to people because that's just who you are. But what's your business promise? Is it that they will feel good in their skin? Is it that they will go home with a glow they didn't know they had? Is it that you bring the glow out in them? Like, we can figure out a phrase for that. But I would stick with what your business actually is. And for now, for this purpose, we're not going to be distracted by some of the beautiful byproducts of having a Christian business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, when you said that, we could use glow, and that's what and that's where I've gravitated to, but haven't found that anchor or that tagline, or that phrase that will really just impact, because I know that glow can be used in so many things. So yes, Ron and Jordan, the team, will help me with my Facebook, my social media, the techie part of it. But this part, I feel like I'd like something that really pops or really says something in the beauty of women, because I chose Body Glow Boutique very intentionally. And it was like a God moment too, where he woke me up at 3 a.m. and he gave me Body Glow. And I said, why? And he says, well, you're a nurse. You worked with the body all your life. Glow is part of who you are, and the radiance and the beauty of women. So there's a glow in that. And then boutique is not boutique, it's boutique. So it's the beauty that women have, and it just ended up beauty. And then feel good in your skin.
Yeah. My first opinion, and you don't have to love it, is feel good in your skin is more generic than you could probably be, because you've already got Body Glow with your name. I mean, that really is a blessing. We don't want to force things like that. Like, my friends call me Jewel. If I ever had a jewelry shop, you know what I'd be calling it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work. And in this case, a glow, like, it's just a natural fit. So I applaud you for using that. I think it's fantastic. However, then you've got a separate message about feel good in your skin. I think we can do better. I think
so too.
yeah.
So just throw it out there.
Well, it's not a magic trick, but but we can, like, what if you were to think of one outcome, like the greatest possible outcome when your clients leave your boutique?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Oh, the outcome is them truly glowing. The radiance of what they experience with skin treatment is something that they really didn't realize. And I know that there's a lot of spas out there, and mine is unique. And I've really been able to own that, in that, because I'm able to actually read their skin. So there's a psychosomatic part of it, of understanding where energy goes in the skin with just life trauma, life experience. And then just spiritually, how the Holy Spirit speaks to me when I see that women coming in, and what those lines mean on the forehead, or the double lines, or the eyes. And it's just revealed to me. And yes, I do know the psychosomatics. I've learned it because of my own health journey that I had many years ago, that I said, I just want to know where all this energy goes in the body, out of pure curiosity. It lands somewhere. And that was kind of a snowballing effect. Now, when I do this, I'm thinking, how do I incorporate that in my message to make it unique? And I do like the glow part.
So it's a bit of a tall order, because this is with every brand, every personal brand in particular. I realize you're running a boutique, so it's sort of a little crossover. All of those nuances, and this is for everybody, those nuances of here's the deeper meaning behind my business that is difficult to share or difficult to get across. You probably will all have that. There's all these extra experiences that just inform your decision to create this business, right? Sometimes it's a spiritual experience. So all of that is nearly impossible to get into a message. It depends on what you're trying to squish in. It depends on what your greater purpose is and all of that stuff. So I would suggest, so we're going to nail a message and then we got to move on to the next person. I would suggest that if anybody here is hoping to squish every experience into your message, I don't know that it can be done. It usually can't be. And I'm with you because we want to be clear. We want to explain and explain and explain. And sometimes, as if you were on the training, we talked about don't get cute. Sometimes we get cute because we don't really know how to explain it, right? So some of the things, Gloria, that you've mentioned, I believe you. I believe that these are your experiences and they contribute to how much you're passionate about your business. But for the outcome your client will receive, they can't take all that in, right? So let's say we slapped this on your big neon sign out front. They'd be like, I don't know why I need to know all of that. I just want a facial.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Because that comes after.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So it's that initial, when the woman's driving by or when they hear it from their friends, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's my skin. And I am, in moving towards my wisdom years. And I do have those fine lines and wrinkles. And I don't want it to be. I want to maintain my youthfulness. I want to feel that sexiness again. And skin does age when it's not taken care of. So putting it into a little...
Don't be depressing now. Here's what I think is
the new 60.
So have you used, let's approach it this way. Have you used this glow word in other messages, in your pamphlet, in your website, in just speaking to your clients? How have you used that word glow?
I've used it in treatments, in like certain treatments and things that I'll do. So I use it there. I'll use it just in talking, is, just to glow and have the radiance. Like, it is a glorious experience to walk out and feel like your skin is so rejuvenated and you see the light and the glow of your skin. And it does, there is a radiance. It's illuminating.
You just said the word glorious. I feel like there's something there. I mean, again, we don't want to get cute, but I mean, it's the same root word, right?
Yeah.
I'm struggling a little bit with this one because you've given me a lot to think about here. We know that feel good in your skin, even though that's accurate, it doesn't tie anything together. So that's what makes it a wrong fit for you for that reason alone, is that it just doesn't tie things together. And the job of your message, any part of your message, is to help clarify and help merge all of your other things. So glorious experience, I'm not sure that's accurate for this, but what's another way to feel good in your skin with the word glow in there? So it could be harness, I don't like that word for this, but something like that. Harness your inner glow. Is inner glow something you say?
Inner glow, I like it, but it almost feels a bit woo-woo.
Okay.
There's women, it's the goddess in me and those kind of things, and that's not where I want to go with it. I want it to be very respectful, edifying, and glamorous for them.
Okay. So what about something like creating, is it only skincare treatments?
Yeah.
Okay. So creating glorious, what's another word for your treatments? Do you just call them skincare treatments, or is there some other?
Yeah, it's a skincare treatment. I mean, the bottom line is a skincare treatment. I can put all kind of fancy little titles together for depending on the treatment. So it's from laser, skin tightening, hair removal, acne treatment, mole lightening, mole removal, extraction.
So here's a suggestion. Feel free to toss it out.
Yeah.
Focusing on this glow thing outside of this message that we're getting to, one way to bring your brand together is if the names of all of those things are all around the same theme. So you have mentioned radiant or radiating or radiance, glow, glorious, that kind of thing. So there are many spas that do this kind of thing. If they're all about, you know, chocolate, they name everything cute names about chocolate. But this would really be one way outside of your message to make your message more powerful. And for everybody here, that's how we do that, right? Is like we're just consistent with the imagery and that kind of thing. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that would really strengthen, you know, the radiance facial, the glory to glory facial, something like that.
Yeah.
You can get as creative as you like, but that kind of imagery then helps support the message that we still don't have. But we really want to get there. So creating glorious, is that overplaying a glorious skincare experience?
Well, I would say that, but in a message, I'm looking for the words to be short but land.
I agree.
Because my treatments, and honestly, I'll change the names of treatments depending on the occasion. If it's Valentine's Day, it's going to be, you know, a luxurious, loving, illuminating facial, or, you know, ultra hydrating,
Right.
an ultra hydrating something. Like, I'll just play with it, or I like alliterations. And they're all the same things between Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's and Christmas, but I just name them different, and I can do that. So there's a secret. So, but to say a tagline that I can put on my website other than feel good in your skin, because to me that feels like flat shoes that an elegant, radiant woman wears rather than those heels that make a statement.
So how about helping women radiate from the inside out?
Helping women radiate from the inside out. There's so many women that use that in relationship, in like, somehow that's not unique to me. That seems to be very common. So I'm not shooting you down. I've thought of that. I look at it, and I can go to like 6 different women I know, and they're doing all kind of different things with mindset, relationship, from divorce and coming out of divorce, is that work from the inside out. And really, all of it does work from the inside out. And I can say truly.
So let me stop you there.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. And we always want to be specific to our niche. And I mentioned a few minutes ago, sometimes like with Jessica, the way she's going to describe divine healing is quite different from what someone in the occult might, right? And we almost don't even need to consider that. I do hear you though. We don't want it to be mistaken for something it isn't. Mm-hmm. So where we've got this challenge with this brand, remember that it's going to be in context, first of all. So what I'm trying to do, and I think we're on the same page, what I'm trying to do is infuse your message instead of the feel good in your skin, because that's not misleading. It's not wrong. That's not unique. And I think that's why you asked the question, right? Because you deserve to have something more special. So feel good in your skin, what we're trying to do is reword that so it has that feeling, illuminating, radiating, glowing, glorious. That's the feeling, and that's the brand, feeling. That's the best word for it. Mm-hmm. So helping women create a glow that shows or something like that. I mean, you can do any of those things. Helping women radiate from the inside out. If that's not accurate, then it doesn't work. That one doesn't work. You could do creating glorious skincare experiences, helping women radiate through glorious skincare experiences. Maybe that's one.
That creating glorious skincare experiences, I like that.
So for me, the best one we've got so far is helping women radiate through glorious skincare experiences. And you might want to sit with that some more. I'm seeing nodding, so you guys like that one. You might want to sit with that, Gloria, because some of these things, like, you're in your business more than I am, and you know what the real message is that you've heard from competitors and that kind of thing, and why you want to differentiate. Also, like, it works both ways. You're more in your business, so you know better. Also, you're more in your business, so you can't see what might be better. We all do this, right? So from my perspective as just an outsider branding person who loves good skincare and wants to see your name supported better, I think we're close with that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like helping women radiate through glorious skincare experiences. I think that says a whole lot more than feel good in your skin.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it does have the glow in there without saying get the glow or whatever.
Yeah.
You are in a very competitive space, and it's difficult because there are so many ways. We want to be creative, but we want to be clear, and there are a lot of ways to talk about skincare and the results of it. But from, like, the more I hear that one, and not because I said it, but the more I hear that one, I think it's accurate for what you're trying to convey, you know?
Well, it's definitely a little bit more than I started with. So thank you so much.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so who we have next? I'm scrolling up to see. I don't know if I can even go in order. Okay, I'm not going to say your name right, so now you already know who I'm calling. This is Wanjamaturi. Is that how I say your name?
No.
Oh, you're muted now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little faint, but I do hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. My name is Jane. It's my daughter's.
Okay.
It's my daughter's computer. Yeah. So.
Okay, Jane, lay it on me.
That's okay. That's okay. Yes. So the name of my of the ministry is Bloom Restoration Ministry. I am a belief therapist. I do Christian counseling. I have worked with women in church for the past 10 years, helping them, conducting freedom classes, celebrate recovery, all that kind of stuff, helping women break free and all that. And I've taught classes in those churches. And so my message is this. I'm gonna read it. I help I help Christian women overcome self-sabotaging thoughts, beliefs, and behavior patterns that limit them from living a life of abundance. So, yes, and my tagline, I want to make it the name of my book, The Blooming Woman, or something like that. Or The Secrets of a Blooming Woman, I don't know, The Blooming Woman. Anyway, so the outcome is fruitfulness, effectfulness, blooming. So yeah, and it's Christian women, even though I did counsel even non-Christians. Yeah.
So the blooming woman isn't mentioned in your message yet. Did you do that on purpose?
No, it's because it's That's the name of the book, but
Yeah.
the message is to, yeah, I wanted to show what I do, what I help. You know, like how you said we help transform, overcome, or do something.
Yeah.
So I chose overcome. You know, I help women overcome.
Yeah.
So like I help them to overcome so they can bloom.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that message is very clear. Like, it's clear to me what you read, it's clear to me what you do, who you serve. So that's fantastic. So what's missing in this message for you before I give you any opinion? Like, what would you like it to convey that you don't think it's doing yet?
I just wanted to hear your feedback in terms of the wording.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, when people hear overcome, they feel like somebody like they don't want to overcome. I don't know whether that's the right word. Like, you know, people don't like to work out their salvation or work out something. They want, so I don't know whether that will, but that's what I want them to do. You know, I want them to overcome those self, because that's what causes us not to be fruitful, is all these beliefs, which lead us to certain, you know, like I worked with a lot of women that had relationship problems, codependent, you know, problems, and you know, problems in general, relationship, but they didn't even know it has to do with, like, you know, things that they went through when they were young, you know, that are still playing out today in their lives. So in my coaching, I would want to take them through that, you know, to tap the root of the problems so that they can bloom. So anyway, I don't know, it's just the wording, and whether it's clear to the person, to the you know, to the market.
Okay, I'm just thinking here. I heard you. I'm just making some notes. So this is a fun one because you've already come up with this blooming woman image of, like, that's how you're calling the people who follow you. And I think that's lovely. What I think would be really nice is if we have some of that echoed in your message. And it doesn't have, it might be something you named the words fruitful, blooming, growing, that something like that. And again, we don't want to get so cute that they don't understand, but it does connect those things then, because without it, it's a little bit separate. The blooming woman is in one thing, and then the longer message is a little bit different. So let's try to put those things together, and we'll only get a little cute.
Okay.
Do you like that idea?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I really do. I didn't want to be a little cute, like you said, because if I put bloom there, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's not like a common word. Like, are you blooming? You know, like it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want it to sound like a gardening program or something like that. But what if it was, I help women bloom into something, something, something? Like, to put the positive spin on it. And we might want to draw on what you've already got, because you're very clear on, I help women overcome what? These things. That does make it longer, and it limits you a little bit, not a lot, it limits you a little bit. So we'll work with that. Like, if you want to keep the, I help them overcome self-sabotaging thoughts, beliefs, and behavior patterns, there's nothing wrong with that. It gets long though, and I think you might not need to say all of that. So maybe you do, maybe you don't, I'm not sure yet. And the outcome then, the way you phrase it, if I heard it all, you said, overcome all these things that limit them from living a life of abundance. So if that's the ultimate goal, maybe I'm working backwards now. It might be something around fully bloom into a life of abundance or into life more abundant. So let's step back a second. Do you like the beginning being something like I help women bloom into, and then we'd have to figure out what are you helping them bloom into? Is it confidence, like the opposite of their self-sabotaging thoughts? What would that be? Is it confidence, clarity, inner peace, godly direction? Like, what do you think the positive spin on your other things would be worded as?
Oh, I thought it was being fruitful.
Okay, right, I forgot that one.
Being fruitful and yeah, being.
So tell me a little bit about that. When you say women are being fruitful.
It's because like as women, like especially women that have been through things, a lot of stuff, like me, we are held a lot, and we end up just being in these cycles, for so long, and we don't move forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know what it is, but it's like to keep on the same, or even dating the same people because you haven't dealt with those beliefs and all that. So for me, it was really just for me, it's to help women get unstuck so they can be able to move forward. They can be able to, not stagnate in the Christian journey, because we tend to do that so that like we are not effective, we are not fruitful, and sometimes we just are really dysfunctional, even to raise our children and do anything else.
So what if we took the first part, I help women overcome self-sabotaging patterns, like fewer words.
Mm-hmm.
I help women overcome self-sabotaging patterns to I help women overcome self-sabotaging patterns to bloom into and bloom into a life of abundance. I feel like something's still missing there, but what I did was just
like bloom and abundance mean the same, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
So help.
Like it's the same.
Okay.
What about I help? What did you say? I help women
Overcome self-sabotaging patterns
to live, to become blooming women. No. And I would like to put Christian women.
Okay. I help Christian women Here's an option. I help Christian women. You can do something like that transformation we talked about. You're taking them from this to that. I help Christian women grow out of this into that. Another approach is I help Christian women, and we'll just stay positive for this one. I help Christian women I guess I'm stumbling on my own thought, which was bloom into something. So I help Christian women grow into confident, fruitful something. And then the tagline can be fully bloom or something like that. It only works if we've got the right pieces in the front. Mm-hmm. So am I on the right track? That yeah. I help Christian women. What did I have? I help Christian women become or grow into fruitful, confident, something. And let's stop there. Does that resonate with you? Or do you really want to put, it's fine with me, do you really want to put the first part that you had before? The self-stop.
I would like to put it because like I feel like it will attract people that are struggling with that, without that, which is a lot of people, and it will help when I get to run the campaigns. Like those are the questions I'll be asking. Do you struggle with, like stagnating? So I'd like to leave that, but I'm trying. Maybe I can look at it a little bit more and see how I can put the blooming at the end.
Yeah.
Live a life of bloom. No, is that?
That one sounds, yeah, that particular play on it is a little bit awkward still, but I think we're getting there. Like what I have now from what you just said is I help Christian women grow out of self-sabotaging patterns to become fruitful and abundant. I think we're closer. And why I say that is because grow, obviously, it's connected to bloom, but then the bloom thing makes sense later. It's what you described to me, that is growth, right? You're helping them overcome, get past, deal with, change how they think. All of that is growth. Mm-hmm. So let me read that again. I help Christian women grow out of self-sabotaging patterns to become abundant or to become fruitful. And option B, I help Christian women grow out of self-sabotaging patterns. I just forgot what it was. I help Christian women grow out of self-sabotaging patterns to fully bloom. That's an option. Do you want to sit with it some more and play with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Really, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Are we close? I feel like it's closer.
Yeah, it's closer. It's closer, but it was nice to hear that it was clear.
It was very clear. It's just a lot to take in.
So if I left it that way and then maybe not put the tagline, or that would, I need to.
Yeah, you don't have to have a tagline, but it's really useful. And where it's most useful is so in context, again, with your whole other brand, it's useful to have on your social posts, on your website, on your documents, like just as a reminder. And my favorite way of writing a tagline, I think you all heard, it's as a directive to the person reading it. So, become this, do that, think different, just do it. Those kinds of phrases are memorable, and then it draws your audience into your brand. It's not about you, it's about them. Like one example people really like, Brendan Burchard, who's a personal development coach, he has a massive brand. People love him. He's lovely. And his tagline is what I would say not to do, but it works for him because he's done it so much. It's a different approach, and it's just 3 words: live, period, love. No, what is it? Live, love, matter. That's just his thing. Now, it's not my favorite because it's not about anything in particular, but it's not wrong. So why I teach taglines the way I do is because really big brands tend to follow that pattern, which is a directive, and it's usually 3 to 7 words, and it's usually a short sentence. So fully bloom, it's not the best that I've ever thought of, and it might not be the right thing, but something about that, become
or become the blooming woman. Become
yeah.
the blooming woman.
Yeah, there are lots of options in there, but we definitely want that blooming woman, since that's what you're calling, your book and engaging with you. I think you're going to be really glad that you included growth, blooming, or both in your message to make that blooming woman make sense.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. thank
I'm
you.
sorry we didn't get an exact one there yet. Sometimes
No,
that.
that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, who do we have next?
I'm next.
Mimi. Mimi, you're next.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so I have to go through a rebranding. Like I developed my website in 2013 and it's not changed since then. And I have been being a personal and business coach and just a big generalist. And so my line over my website and my tagline is empowering you to be your best. So extremely general. So now that I am focusing on my niche, which is coaching chronically ill people, I had, one coaching call with Jordan, and sort of in the last 5 minutes, I sort of want to walk you through the different stages and where I have landed now. So one of my struggles were, do I just coach to Christians or is it for everybody? And I have a reason for both. My passion for coaching those that are chronically ill, for those that are non-Christians, is to bring them to the Lord. There's a big evangelistic aspect to that. And I know I have the gift of relationship evangelism. In other words, people I befriend that I develop a relationship with, then I share the gospel and then they accept the Lord. And so part of my thinking with coaching everyone is, if you've been told you've got 2 months to live, you're in a very desperate situation. And if they're reaching for help from me, one-on-one coach, I will help them with their mindset to be going from negative to positive, all that. But ultimately, if the trust is developed at some point, I'm going to share my personal testimony and hopefully have a chance to share Christ with them. So that's where I'm coming from with that. On the other hand, if I just coach Christians who are chronically ill, just like myself, I was a Christian when I was chronically ill. I still went through it alone and I really had to learn. And there are steps like surrender to God and get rid of the fear. And there's steps as a Christian. I can say go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Ultimately is to draw close to God, and that God is the ultimate healer. So they're very different. And I've sort of come sort of full circle. So initially, at the end of my coaching call with Jordan, like literally in the last 5 minutes, we came up with, I walk with Christians who have a chronic illness in their healing journey, is what I came up with then. But then when I was on your session, Julia, with things that you and Ron said, like I was already getting other stuff. And so I came up with, I lead chronically ill people from negative mindsets and fear to positive mindsets and peace. And then I narrowed it down to, I lead chronically ill Christians. I moved back to Christians from negative self-talk and fear to positive self-talk and peace. But I just had a session with Cindy, and I moved back to, I guess as I was talking, was just so passionate because, God's healed me with crazy things like, a heart attack that the doctor said I would have died within a day or two if I didn't come in. He gave me my friend who donated his kidney to me, and I had cancer in 2015, chronic illness, chronic small bowel cancer, which is usually fatal because it's discovered too late. So I myself have gone through all of this. And because I've gone through all of this, I also have the gift of healing. And that's also manifested itself in big ways. So there's also this other side, of my exercising the gift of healing. So there's also that part in it. But anyway, so the last, so after all of this, so this is where I sit right now, open to definitely any suggestions. I lead chronically ill adults from anxiety, fear, and despair to peace, freedom, and joy. So I've moved away from the mindset and the self-talk and gotten here.
Can you repeat that for me? I lead chronically ill adults.
From anxiety, fear, and despair to peace, freedom, and joy. Now that's changed a bit from like when I was with Cindy, she gave me actually the word isolation, but I've replaced isolation. So it used to read at the end of my session with her was, I lead chronically ill adults from fear, isolation, and despair to peace, freedom, and joy. But I'm not sure about the word isolation, and I replaced it with anxiety. So I came up with, I lead chronically ill adults from anxiety, fear, and despair to peace, freedom, and joy. So I've completely taken away out the positive mindset and negative mindset, although that's what I'm going to be coaching, is definitely moving from this place and all these emotions. So
here's an approach that might help, because none of that is inaccurate, right? Like, it's all accurate, and there are so many words we can choose. This is very clear to me. Like, most of these have been very, very clear, right? To make it memorable, positive, like, that's what we want. So not discounting, they're not feeling so positive right now. But as a brand, my take on what you're offering is to really grab hold of the positive side of things. And
yes.
So do you think, as someone who's been through a lot of this, do you think that you need to mention the anxiety, fear, and despair in order for them to really get the peace, freedom, and joy? Do you need to mention it?
They're already in that place. I mean, you're diagnosed and you're there. You don't, no, I don't need to.
That's what I think. I think they're well aware of the horrifying parts of it. And then another piece that can help, shorten it and just make it clear, and then have room to say more of what you really want to say. One approach is, if we're able to get down to one word, if there is one, there usually is, that would encompass what is the main, like, after all of this, what is my greatest hope for them after they have worked with me? If I could bless them with any one experience, what would that be? And I'll share with you, I have a client who works with chronically ill people in movement. It's similar to yoga, but it's a lot of stretching and physiotherapy and that kind of stuff. What we came up with for her, and yours may be the same, it may be different, what was important for these chronic pain, not chronically ill, chronic pain patients, and they were grown-ups. What her greatest hope for them was ease, that they could move with ease, breathe with ease. And this may not be right for you, but I think you'll relate to the feeling of they could breathe easier, life was easier, walking was easier, the panic was lessened, like all of it. For her, we summed it up with, in fact, her brand is now based on live with ease. So that made it easier for her bigger message, which is connected to that. So if you can, and maybe you can't, that's fine. Is there something that just keeps popping up for you as the one big thing I want them to get? Is it joy? Is it freedom? Because I believe all of those things, peace, freedom, and joy. Is there one thing, one of those words or something else?
Peace is the biggest part of it, because, whether you're Christian or not, to just not have that anxiety and that constant fear is huge. And so much of that is from your mindset, because all the chronically ill people, not all, so many of them, they have this seriously negative mindset, like, I'm going to die. That's all they tell themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like, changing that to, first of all, so here's another two words that I don't know if I want to use it as a tagline. So the words rising hope, like rising hope as a tagline, or some way to do it as a directive, as you just said. But that's it. Like, I want them to have hope. And so when you have hope, you're already in a positive mindset. You don't have hope when you're negative. The two contradict each other. So if they have hope, whether it's hope for healing from God, or that they can do everything that they can to just, have that peace and live the rest of their life peacefully and just embrace it.
Yeah. Okay. So if we go back to one of the messages you're working with now, I lead chronically ill adults. I like the word lead there. I mean, you really are, they'll know your story. You're well suited to actually lead them, not just walk with them, not just befriend them, but lead. I think that's really powerful. I lead chronically ill adults. Well, in this format, we're doing that journey, right? From this to that.
Right.
Another way to look at that, give me a moment here.
Okay.
You said helping Christians heal. Oh, well, let's settle this. Who do you want your audience to be?
I think I'm supposed to start with everybody. And I think that's a second course, to just deal with Christians. I think the first one is to deal with everybody.
Yeah. Well, and there are different schools of thought on this. My experience and my opinion is that your ministry is whatever your business is. And typically Christian entrepreneurs attract other Christians, whether we market specifically and only to them or not, because we get each other. We kind of find each other, that we know there's a thing, right? So that's just been my experience, and I hope that's yours. I actually work with a lot of Christians, but not only. And that's my choice. So if that's where you're feeling led, it's probably not wrong, and you can niche down with specific programs with like, you don't have to change your whole message because it's still accurate. You're helping people heal, whether they are Christians or not. If that's what you're saying, then you can do a specific one for Christian women or for Christian youth, Christian men. Like, they all have different needs, right? So if you chose to, again, from a brand perspective, you're leaving some room if you want to get specific later. And anybody here can do that. Leave a little bit of room. It's not a big deal. So I like that. Do you like that? Really naming it, I'm helping people heal. And I understand, as a Christian, you're not claiming that you are the healer.
No, never.
You are helping them heal. That's a fact, right?
That's a fact.
Okay. I feel that that's more powerful. Like, it's clear, it's direct, it's really what they want, what they want to experience. Like, if they could have one thing, healing. Do you think that's accurate?
That's very accurate, and that's at a physical, mental, and emotional level. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is going to get bumpy before it gets smooth. In this case, it may be the word help, because I don't know how else we squish heal in there without saying I help people heal. They kind of work well together. So I help chronically ill adults heal. Now we can say this is going to sound way too poetic, and it's not the right thing, but basically to experience everlasting peace. Like, that might be the nice kind of outcome, since you mentioned peace. They've experienced the healing. I help chronically ill adults experience healing. Healing with confidence and peace, maybe something like that. Confidence may not fit. You had a lot of good options in there. But when you said to me that the biggest outcome would be peace, that tells me it's important for you to have that in there. And if the experience is healing, it's important to have that in there. So that, my brand brain says, toss out all the fancy words. What we need it to say is help people heal so they can have peace. And then we get all fancy dancy in the middle to make it sound different from everybody else. Is there anything missing there that you really want that I haven't said?
I guess also the term supernatural healing has been applied to me and my personal testimony. In fact, I think it was Reverend Ron that said that, and I went, oh, I like that. Like, you know, I've experienced not just healing, but I've like literally just experienced another, like literally my kidney functions jumped from 32% to 50% over a week just now. I just got the test results back today, and those in the prayer group know what I'm talking about. Like, even as I'm figuring out this plan, like, the enemy's attacking, and yet this is happening. And I just turned around and I talked to my friend who had a low white cell count, who's going for her blood test. And I told her what happened with me. And I told her, she was a Christian. I said, I want you to tell me the number you want your white cell count. And we're going to pray for that right now. And we're going to declare healing upon you. And so she's gone this afternoon. So I'm already teaching her, like, that's a Christian woman. I'm just turning around, like it just happened. I just turned around and just did it for my friend. So that's what I'm
You already know you're in your calling, which is amazing. So the supernatural healing part,
I just threw that out to differentiate, but I don't know, like I just threw that out.
so that's kind of a judgment call on your part. If you feel that it is, because supernatural healing, will your audience understand that? Will they embrace that?
Yes.
Or do they really think the most important thing is the healing, and I don't care how you get there?
Right.
Only you know what your audience would kind of gravitate to there. For me, just branding.
Right.
I help chronically ill people experience healing to live in peace. Or I help chronically ill people live in peace by experiencing healing. No, I like it better the first way.
Which way do you like better?
I like the first way. I help chronically ill people with what? I help them experience healing to live in peace. And if you feel supernatural healing really says it better to your audience, then
No, that's fine. No, healing is. And what do you think about something to do with rising hope as a tagline or something like that?
So is it rising or rise in?
Actually, it was rising hope, but that's interesting. If it's rise in hope or something totally different. I mean, I just threw that out.
Yeah. So if the big thing that you want them to have is peace, I don't think we want to get into the hope. And if you want to put it in the bigger message, that I help them experience healing to live in peace and rise in hope. Now we're getting a little poetic,
Wordy,
right? We're losing a little bit of the power.
Right.
So I would say choose one big outcome, and if peace, I believe you. Well, I get it, that hope is not a bad thing in this situation in particular. It's wonderful. They need it. But is that the thing you want to hang your hat on, or do you want to just stick with the peace?
Yeah, I guess peace is good because that applies to Christians and non-Christians. I mean, it works for both. If you're non-Christian, you want peace too.
Yeah. So maybe it's a tagline would come out of this message. So it'd be something like, something peaceful healing is what I'm hearing, but I'm not sure what to do with that. Because we're not creating peace, we're receiving it. Maybe it's receive.
Mm-hmm.
Or just live in peace. I don't want that to have a weird, like, leave me alone kind of thing.
Right.
I think I'll leave that with you to think through a little bit.
Okay.
And if you're tempted to go back to like explaining, just give yourself the confidence that you'll have so much opportunity to put bullet points on your sales pages and your video that explains things. All of those other pieces that are coming will help support the message that you stake your claim on. So if peace turns out after you sit with it, that actually it is hope, or it is faith, or something else, you're free to change it. But once you lock it in, lock it in.
Okay. Just a quick question. The word like chronically ill people, chronically ill adults.
Yeah.
Is there another word we can use?
It's a little awkward, right?
Yeah, because it is for both men and women. And not necessarily for children, but why not? Like I know Cindy asked me that. Not children. I'm thinking, why not children? Sure, teenagers. I mean, it really can be for anyone.
Oh, so if you know that, then it's going to be more, it might be I help heal the chronically ill. Is that wrong? I help heal, like it sounds like a label. I don't know if they would enjoy.
Yeah.
Cheryl's like, I like that. No, I don't like it now. You know what I mean? Like the chronically ill, does that sound insulting? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Do you identify with being a chronically ill person, or it's just something you're dealing with? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about it could be I facilitate healing for chronically ill people to experience. No, now we're getting jammed up. I'm going to think about this one, and you do the same.
Okay.
I hear you. That word people kind of sounds a little clunky in there.
I mean, I even thought of chronically ill patients, but that sounds negative. I don't like that. Like,
it sounds medical and
yeah, no one wants to think of themselves as a patient.
Jessica has a suggestion in the chat.
Individuals. It's also, yeah. There are lots of words for people, and then it's harder to spit out sometimes, right? So individuals is accurate. Again, accurate, and people is accurate. So why don't you sit with it a little bit, Mimi? I think we're closer. I think it's simpler.
How about I help those that are chronically ill?
Yeah.
That are chronically ill.
It can, I had a thought that just keeps vaporizing. Something about, I help people overcome or manage, blah, blah, to experience healing and live in peace. You can frame it that way. So for the building blocks, it would be, I help, whatever that label is going to be, overcome chronic illness. That's it. Overcome chronic illness to experience healing and live in peace.
I like that. I help people overcome chronic illness to experience healing and peace, right? Did I get that right?
I help people overcome chronic illness. It could be and experience healing to live in peace, or chronic illness to experience healing and live in peace. Either way.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
I can sleep tonight.
Well done, Julia. Thank you.
Okay, I think we got it. Let me know how that turns out. And we're going to move.
Thank you.
This is a tough one to like nail them super fast, but I'm going to do my best. So who was next? We have Lee. Where is it? Oh, there you are.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. What's happening?
All right. What is happening? That's a loaded question. So, so I really feel like I'm a little bit scattered. I'll tell you a little bit about what I have. So my coaching is beauty for ashes. I just recently did a workshop, and I guess I was being cute, as you call it. I played on words a little bit. It was titled, "Who Do You Think You Are, Esther?" Mm-hmm. You know how people say that to us all the time. Who do you think you are? So anyway, it was kind of based on it was based on the scripture Esther and inner healing and Esther saving her people. So that's my business name and the workshop. When it comes to the taglines and the message, I feel like I said, I feel a little scrambled. I've got kind of different ideas a little bit all over the place. For instance, I have for a possible tagline, and it may be a little too long. It's not really a directive, if you will, but Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. And then obviously scripture based, but it sounded kind of soft and even killed, but it really is what I want to do. And it kind of ties into Beauty for Ashes, I thought. And then just as far as my message, I don't have a clear direction verbiage wise, but a couple of things that I had jotted down. I said, creating a life of abundance from your ashes, journey from healing to wholeness, and giving a voice to the voiceless.
Okay. What was the middle one?
A journey from healing to wholeness.
Okay. So what is your audience dealing with most that you want to solve? Help them solve.
Definitely women who are dealing with, just issues of life, whether it be abuse, feeling inadequate, just that woman who feels broken, who needs healing, in a nutshell.
Have you considered using some part of Rising from the Ashes?
I did, but I didn't. Yes, that's the short answer. My ideas don't really. Okay, so what I came up with, and I think I was trying to just use the words, but I don't think they really mesh, if you will. So let me see. I wrote a few down. Now this one is not with the ashes, but I said healing is beauty and essential. And then where ashes are concerned, I'm sorry.
As I understand the scripture reference, Beauty for Ashes,
Right.
like that makes sense to name your business that way. So we want to echo that in your message somehow.
Agreed. Every time I would try to bring, first of all, I felt like, even though I know that the majority of my audience will be, if not all, will be Christian women, I struggled with, do I want to just say Beauty for Ashes? Because someone may not really know, well, what does that mean? Most will, but they may not. So that was kind of my, one of my first questions.
Yeah.
Where the ashes is concerned, so see, yeah. I'm grasping, so I'm not going to say.
Well, thanks for being honest about where you're at. And this is the reality of creating messages is it seems like scattered thoughts, but you're probably more clear than you're giving yourself credit for, because someone led you to create that Beauty for Ashes thing. And if you want to keep that, then all we need to do is fill in some blanks. And so all of those seemingly disjointed thoughts may have a place. Some will, some won't. So don't even worry about it. Where I think we get caught up is there's lots of things that can be said. And then we need to make choices about which ones we choose. So, with rejoice with those who rejoice with you, weep with those, that kind of thing. Wonderful sentiment, scriptural, though it's not supporting that message of Beauty for Ashes clearly, right?
Gotcha. Right.
So yeah, so imagine this for those of you who are serving Christian entrepreneurs primarily. There's all different levels of scriptural understanding too, that you may have brand new Christians who don't know those verses or didn't understand them or never heard of them or all kinds of things. And we just want to relate, right? Your message has to relate. So our job then is, if we're going to reference scripture, which is awesome, we need to make it clear and present day and work with how you work and all of that. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes, right?
No.
So Beauty for Ashes. What about that do you really want to come through? Is it Well, before I answer, what do you really want it to come through from that umbrella?
Definitely, it was my life. And so definitely the idea that, you know, from your ashes, from all the pain, from the heartache, from the issues with your childhood, all those things that you've either dealt with or you're currently dealing with, there is another side, there is beauty. And so it's just more of a transformational type thing. I've always been referenced to Esther for many, many years. And so I think that whole scriptural thing just kind of caught my attention, i.e. naming the business Beauty for Ashes. So I'm going to be brave, back to that thing of you saying, how can I use ashes? So I did dig it up. What I said was, fan the flame, burn the ashes, be the fire.
Okay, that's a very clear image. Not a clear message yet, but that's a very clear image of, well, fire is always very clear. Did you figure out what your brand personality is?
Yes, I am. Oh my goodness. The gentle. I don't have it in front of me. The first. Oh my goodness.
Now I'm sincere.
Sincere.
Sincere. Yes.
Thank you, Cheryl. I
said
forgot.
I'm the gentle. Sincere,
Okay,
yes.
sincere. Now you can be sincere and fiery, right? You can be.
Okay.
So let's just talk about image for a second. This is a different approach than we've talked about yet today. Do you want that to be part of your image? And it's totally fine with me. Or like, which approach would you like? Do you want it to be bursting out of the flames and like staking their claim kind of feel? Or do you want it to be, you're beautiful and God made you and I'm here with you? Like, which kind of vibe would you like?
Definitely the latter, 100%.
Okay.
We're gonna let the fire go.
Well, and there are different fires, right? There's those slow burning embers, there's the spark, there's raging flames we're scared of. That fire is very diverse, right? Yes. So again, that leads into the like poetic part a little bit, but it's nice to think through these things because typically it's helpful to go, well, I like the fire analogy, but does that fit the image I want? And then how do I want to play with that? So there's a few things at play, and yet we're talking about message, right? So how about, since you said healing is beauty and essential.
Yes.
How about something like helping Christian rise above something, I don't know what, because rise from the ashes, I mean, we don't want to give like a mythological feel to it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Helping Christian women what if the overall feeling, before I try to get the words, if the overall sentiment is I'm helping Christian women rise above something that's represented by ashes, rise above this to something like to embrace the beauty that God has bestowed upon them. That's horrible wording, but is that the right sentiment? Like the beauty part. Okay. So the beauty part, are you wanting that to be for your people? Do you want it to be that they're accepting that they are lovable and acceptable and like those kinds of things? Or how do you, this is a trickier one. What do you want that beauty part to represent?
I want that beauty part. The beauty part represents their life. So their life is beauty. Their transformation from what they've gone through can be or will be beautiful.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to help me here fill in the blanks. If it's helping Christian women rise from it can be rise from the ashes. We might want it to be more specific. So do you have something specific that keeps coming up in how you coach women, that like what type of things are they really struggling with? Because those are all like the ashes.
Right. Goodness. Brokenhearted, unresolved childhood issues, feeling ill-equipped, restoration, so helping them rise from or above,
Yeah.
helping them rise from.
Is it too vague in your opinion to say helping Christian women rise above? I think I already know my answer, but rise above to receive. You've stumped me a little bit with the beauty for ashes, because I want to honor the scripture, and I want to be clear for you about what their experience is. Yeah.
Okay, what about this? And I don't know if you kind of answered it with the ashes, and that's back to me trying to find the whole, throw the word ashes in there. So helping Christian women rise from,
Yeah.
putting the ashes in asterisks, rise from the ashes of life so you can, or to receive true beauty in life.
Mm-hmm. To create a more beautiful life.
To create a more beautiful life.
Yeah. Do you feel that's specific enough for what your work is? Helping Christian women rise from the ashes. I have no problem with that on its own. I think we all can kind of get what rising from the ashes is without describing what's in those horrible ashes. You know? But up to you if you think that's specific enough. Helping Christian women rise from the ashes to create a more beautiful life. Or I think we're closer. And the reason for that is because beauty and ashes are both mentioned in your message, so that your audience who may not know that scripture or what it was coming from can understand it better. So I'm not sure we've nailed it, but I think we've moved in the right direction so that your brand name makes sense to them. The whole idea is that your brand speaks for you when you're not in the room. So you don't want to have to explain things. And I think we're closer because we filled in some gaps for your readers. What do you think?
Definitely closer, and definitely kind of tweaking it some, because it hits it, but it's not fully nailing it as far as, you know, like you said, we don't want to describe the ashes, but we want to, I want to describe a bit better that transformation part. I don't want to just call it a beautiful life. That's nice, create a beautiful life, but I want there to be more of an impact with that part of it, the coming out part. But
yeah,
no, this is definitely helpful.
Yeah, I think we're not quite there yet. So give that some more thought. If I come up with something in my sleep, I'll let you know. But do you see where we're going with it, though? That it's bringing some more clarity to that beauty for ashes, that it's just a little more abstract than some other brand names might be. So you got to help your people understand what that's all about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who did we have next? Adrian? Hi.
Hey. All right. So my business name is Free to Be the Authentic Me. And my tagline now is get unstuck with Coach Adrian. And So should I go into how I'm helping? I'm helping women.
Yeah.
Hold on for a minute. I'm sorry.
Is this helping you guys who haven't gone yet? Is it? Yeah. Okay, good.
All right. So my avatar are women who are stuck in a story that they created because of past pain. They're stuck in an identity or a story, that they've created due to past pain, and I want to help them to find their true identity. So, one message that I have is, together we reclaim the identity that was lost in your trauma story. But I know that you were saying, you don't necessarily want to mention the negative.
If we can avoid it, that's a good idea. Sometimes you got to be specific and name it, right? So I'll let you finish. Is there anything more?
There's a simpler one that I was kind of looking at. I guide women in reframing their story, but I feel like it doesn't say enough.
So what I hear are, they relate to each other, but they're all quite different on their own. The free to be the authentic me, get unstuck, stuck in your story, those are similar, and reclaim your identity. I will say, even though you're the vehicle to help them do this, it's better for your audience to feel like they're doing it. Like you're helping them do it.
Okay.
So things like together we will such and such, those are great. Those phrases are great for if you're putting into your calendar what your 30-minute free call will do for them. Together we will accomplish such and such. That's encouraging, and it sounds like we're in this together. I'm here with you. For a brand message, it's best if they feel like you're the person they're going to work with, but what am I going to be doing here? Tell me what I'm going to be doing. So just work with that if you can. It's just a small little tweak that it's usually best not to say together we'll such and such in your message, because I want to give you the power. This is what you do, right? So authenticity, getting unstuck, reclaiming identity. I heard those from you. What's the most important idea of those three?
And he was so obsession about this woman of mine. Verse 3.
I think
Joy, and he fell sick.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so
that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the three big ideas that you shared are authenticity, getting unstuck, and reclaiming identity. So is there one of those three that's more important than the others? And I believe you'll help them do all of them, but we have to narrow it down, right? Here's, maybe this will help you. So getting unstuck, from what you've shared, it's important for them to get unstuck in order to become authentic. Right. So then from that, we could say, well, what's the bigger outcome? Is that they can become authentic. Of those two things, they can become authentic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then the third idea you shared is around reclaiming identity. To me, they're the same. Reclaiming your identity and being authentic, they're very, very similar. So it's up to you, which turn of phrase if you feel is more accurate. It's like when we talk about honesty and truthfulness. They're very similar, or honesty and integrity, really similar. So is there one of those that, like that phrase, reclaiming identity or find identity or be authentic? Like, is any of that sort of your favorite?
I kind of like I'm sorry, guys. I kind of really like the reclaim part because I feel like it's there. It's just been lost because of, the pain that you've experienced or
Okay.
covered, hidden because of a past issue of pain.
Okay, so one option would be showing women how to X, get unstuck and uncover their identity. Are you working only with Christians or not specifically?
Not specifically.
Okay. So showing women how to I hear what you're saying. If they feel that their identity has been lost, or helping women uncover their true identity to live more authentically. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're saying is, like, what's the big outcome? To live more authentically in this phrase, if that feels like it fits you.
So helping women uncover
their identity. And I know grammatically we don't say their identity, it would be their identities, but we get it, right? In a brand message, we're doing let it go a little bit. So helping women uncover, you can choose another word. It could be unlock, release. Maybe it's release, because you really are letting something go for that abundance to come in.
I like unlock.
Unlock, okay.
Helping women unlock their identity to, did you say to be, wait, what was the last part?
To live more authentically or to be authentic. Like, is there anything else you want to add in there? This is a common one that especially among women, helping women in all different ways, but we love that outcome of helping people become themselves. And like with no fluff around it, it's important. So if we can get more specific about that end goal of the end goal of the end goal, that's what we want in your message, is to be authentic. Why? If Adrienne, if you can get really clear from your perspective, because this is your business, what would being authentic open up for them? Then we can even get fancier, clearer with what the real outcome is for them. And if you want to leave it as just to be authentic, that's enough for me. I mean, it depends on what you want their outcome to be.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So
helping women unlock their identity, we like that part.
Can we say true identity, or is that just too redundant?
To me, it's redundant. I don't think you need more words there.
Okay.
Should be authentic and X, maybe. Maybe I'll leave that with you to think through. Is being authentic the goal of the goal of the goal? Or is there something else that's even deeper than that? And then you want to say that instead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to sit with this.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Okay. Shalanda?
I'm all over the place.
Let's see if we can fix that. We'll try.
Because I think since we've been doing this, I've been trying. So I done got all over the place with like 3 sheets of paper.
Then you're my people.
The name of my business is Chosen Vessel.
Chosen Vessel?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And how this came about is because throughout my life from the age of 18 all the way up, I have been chosen by God and I have been put in leadership positions. And through the leadership positions, I have learned a lot. And one of the areas that I worked with was the teenagers. And so from at the time when I became a leader, I was a teenager at the age of 18 when I first became a leader in the ministry. And so my target range right now is from 20 to 30 for those who are, young, coming into Christ and are becoming leaders or thinking about becoming leaders. And so one of the things that I had was knowing who I was, first of all. So I had to learn who I am and what is my purpose in order for me to be able to go forth. And so with Chosen Vessel, I was chosen. So now that I'm a chosen vessel, now what?
Right. So your business, you're helping other people become better leaders, or how would you describe it?
As I was talking to my daughter, she made a comment. She was saying that when I was working with them, because she was one of the people I worked with when I was in the ministry, that I helped them become leaders, even though that was, that was really not my intent. That was for me to help them know who they were and how to become, better. But it also was me. I was building them up to be leaders. So I guess that the question is, I am building them up to be leaders. But first I start with the basic as knowing who you are, moving up to them becoming and walking into their purpose, which we know all of us are called to be leaders.
Right. So how do you feel about starting it with something like pouring into others to something? Is what I'm hearing from this vessel thing.
Yeah.
Not getting too cute, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So
Yeah.
that pouring into, filling their cup, lifting the lid, like all of the John Maxwell says, lift the lid on your leadership.
Mhm.
All of that is that symbolism works really well for chosen vessel, and you've already got a great name there.
Mhm.
So I think our job then is to fill in the blanks about what does it mean to be, you have a couple of options. What does it mean to be a chosen vessel, or what does it mean to work with someone who is? And I think it's the first one.
Yeah. Because we're set apart. When we're chosen, we're set apart.
Right. So, okay. So pouring into others with, we could do that, pouring into others with, well, you tell me, what do you pour into them with that help them become leaders and find who they are and find their purpose?
When I poured into them with understanding, with love, compassion, just being me, I share my true story, the mess that I went through, just being authentically me to them. And through my experience that I went through, that's how I was able to help a lot of them to find out where they was at and to be able to help them through. So it's first me just being me and being vulnerable to them. To see, to see who I was, as a teenager growing up.
So here's one way to look at it, and you tell me if this doesn't feel right to you, is your personal story is clearly helping you help other people in this way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It may not be the thing to focus on in the message, though.
Right.
As I'm going to believe the chosen vessel with Shalonda, mm-hmm. I already know there's something powerful going on there. She has a story.
Right.
I feel like your audience would know there's a story, and of course you're going to share it.
Okay.
Is it the most important thing to talk about? I mean, not in detail, but to mention in the message?
No.
I don't think so. I think pouring into others with love and compassion, powerful, all on its own. So remember, your message is to tell people what you do, how you do it, if possible. But the biggest thing, what makes you different.
Okay.
Pouring into others, I know I just made that up out of nothing, yeah. But pouring into others, that comes from the name you already had, chosen vessel. So then what we want to finish it with is, what's the reason? Why are you pouring into others with love and compassion?
To build up their self-esteem, to know who they are.
Yeah.
And their purpose in life. define what their purpose is in life.
Pouring into others with love and compassion.
And part of me want to keep somehow expose and keep coming here, that I want to expose the enemy for the lies that they are telling them, so that they, where they want to go forward, but it's like the lies that's holding them back from going forward, or the pain and the hurt they are going through.
Okay, so back up just a moment.
Okay.
Where I was going, and I might have gone in the wrong direction, was like, what's the reason you do this? I went with the leadership angle, and maybe that's wrong. So what I had come up with was pouring into others with love and compassion to create purposeful, genuine leaders. Is it missing something? Is that, like, I don't want to force that on you. Does it feel accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. That's what I'm doing. I'm building leaders.
Yeah. And I know there's so much more that you could say. Understood. Like, you're dealing with a really big topic. There's a lot you're helping people solve, but we got to distill everything down, right? You're hearing we're doing that everywhere. Right. So I'm going to read that again, and you tell me if it feels like you want to put this on.
Okay.
Pouring into others with love and compassion to create purposeful, genuine leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Why I said genuine is it's just another word for who I am, authenticity, and such. It's a little easier to say.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel to you?
I like it because it's pretty much showing who I am and what I'm about. That this is what I do. I show you love and compassion. But in the midst of that love and compassion, you can get the other side of me too, which is, where I'm going to be doing the exposing and the ripping open and all the other stuff. So you can fulfill that and become the genuine leader that you are. Yeah, I like it.
This sounds powerful to me. What do you guys think?
I think Cheryl really like this, so she said yes. So this works for me. I like that. So pouring into others with love and compassion.
This is a different one too. It's not I help, which we try to avoid, but sometimes that's the right thing. For some it is. For yours, that just came through because of your name, chosen vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then tagline wise, it could be something like, fill your cup on purpose.
I like that.
I'm a little happy with that one.
Look, I'm keeping that one. Thank you. Because now you're even making me think more outside the box for a logo.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So it's like you're giving me a lot that I can run with now. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we got time for a couple more. Who did I have next? I think Cheryl. I think Cheryl's next. Where'd she go?
I'm right here.
Oh, you moved on my screen. Okay.
I wasn't even sure if we'd get to me. Yay. Good.
So what's happening, Cheryl?
Okay, I've got a lot going on too. So I can't even really tell you who I help. It's kind of morphed in the 5 years that I've been trying to get this off the ground. But so the name of my company is Signature Life Solutions.
Okay.
And it's based off of, everyone is unique, created for a certain purpose. And to me, my walk with Christ is so practical. It's not, that I'll just stick with that. It's just a practical walk. So the solutions that we come up with are biblically based, but it's not, go to scripture so-and-so to find out what God said. Because so many people, for me, in my experience, have negative connotations, church hurt and things like that. But it's just who I am. So that's what they get. But what Ron and I came up with, the Holy Spirit gave us during our session, was rebel to royalty. for the name of our my coaching program. Rebel being just the person who is not the, you don't go the normal way. I didn't fit in. I didn't look like anybody. And I was very creative and outgoing, and that wasn't celebrated anywhere. So I always felt like an outcast, black sheep, whatever. And that caused me to feel unworthy and minimize my achievements and successes and things like that. So helping those people feel celebrated, or well, what came up the other day was to go from being a rebel without a cause to a rebel with a worthy cause. Something being motivated by your worth and not your pain. Yeah, not being a victim. Yeah, I don't know.
So do you have somewhere in your thought process, do you want Signature Life Solutions to have meaning for that name? Or do you want it to just be kind of the parent company and it's not related?
I'm open.
Yeah, because it doesn't make a difference to me, but I ask because I don't know yet how those would connect, the Signature Life Solutions with the Rebel to Royalty.
Right.
So
Okay.
like where I was first going in my brain with it, when you shared your company and what you do, I was seeing something more like you mentioned, uniqueness and not being afraid to be yourself and embracing and that kind of thing. Signature makes sense for all of that. Everybody's signature is different. So it's like proudly slapping your name on all of that. Or like the same concept of creating a signature program. A signature program should be what you really stand for. It's the biggest thing you create, your signature program.
Right.
So one direction is the Rebel with a Worthy Cause direction, which is cool. And I think it's a different direction though, this signature life, like putting your fingerprint on something. So do you have a preference?
I don't, because I feel both. I mean, yeah, Signature Life Solutions came, like I said, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wrote a book, well, about to release a book, and the concept was the rebel in me. And as Ron and I were talking, it was, I want people to feel the lavishness of God's love, the beauty, just all of the wonderful things that a life with God has to offer. So that's how I believe we got to Rebel to Royalty. But that has been my struggle all of this time, is trying to powerfully articulate what it is I do. And yeah, I mean, I just released a Kindle book, a workbook, Arise to Shine, and it has a 5-step process of 21 days to step into your purpose.
So you have a lot of disjointed yet amazing ideas and programs you've created.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fun to work with, Cheryl. So,
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm sitting up here like, I'm so sorry to dump all of this on you, but here we are.
This happens. So first of all, good for you. You've gone ahead and created all kinds of things that you identify with each of them, right? There's not like you're doing something flaky. It's you're identifying with each of those. You're walking in your purpose. What is missing, in my opinion, is some nice umbrella that ties all those things together and becomes the thread. So I'll share with you one of my clients. Her name is Keisha. She can make money appear out of nowhere. Everything she created made money and changed lives. Everything. Yet everything was different. And one of her challenges was this, like, what is the one thing I stand for? How do I bring these things together? And what you have in common is, which she just sort of said something off the tip of her tongue, was something around uniqueness and putting fingerprint on what you create. And specifically for her, it was women. We built an entire brand around, well, for hers, it's profit with purpose, but the longer message was around helping women, and predominantly Christian women, but helping women leave a fingerprint, like create a legacy and leave a fingerprint on the world. So along those lines, you could go with leave your signature on the life you lead.
Oh, girl, wait a minute. Yes. Oh, wait, say that again. Oh, please don't forget it. What?
Leave your signature on the life you lead, or put your signature, whichever. Leave your signature on the life you lead. I'm not sure if that's a clear, full message.
Yeah.
But here's how you can play with that, is really playing on, well, what is a signature? So this is how you could, if you like that signature, it's already the name of your company, you could really wrap your brand around what are the elements of a signature. They're unique. People want to forge them. They help you cash checks. They like all of the things. They attach your name to things or to creations or to purpose. Yeah, I mean, you can come up with probably more things than me about, well, what is a signature? What does a signature do? Why do we have one? They're hard to copy for a reason. They're uniquely yours. They say something about you. And people are always asking you for your signature. They're always asking you for it. So if you are going to create your signature, what will that be? And so anyway, we can get really creative with it, but does that help give some context? Because I bet you've got other programs you haven't mentioned. If you laid that brand on top of some of the things, does that help give them some context that ties them together? Leave your signature on the life you lead. And then maybe it's the signature of a rebel.
Well, for me, that's mine for sure. But I mean, I've helped and worked with people who were not that.
Right.
They just loved my confidence. You know, they loved, I don't know how you just go against the grain. I'd love to do that. But, you know, I was always afraid to lead with the rebel piece because that oftentimes people can't connect to that because, you know, they're not confident.
Well, I guess the question you want to solve for yourself is that who you want to serve? Because someone who isn't a rebel, they absolutely won't get it.
Right.
But if those are the people you want to work with who have a little bit of an edge maybe, or they've had it hard, or they don't go with the grain, if those are your people, serve those people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, not everybody will get it, but you're not here for them. And I know Ron has a training coming up on Avatar, and I'm sure he would say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That it's you get to decide who you're serving. Now, if you feel like I'm not always a rebel and I don't really want to be always associated with that, then it's the wrong thing. So it's real for you, but is that what you want to represent you? What do you think?
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I'm really torn because either fits well. I struggled with being a rebel. And when I got saved, it was, well, God gave me a new nature, so I shouldn't probably use that anymore. It's just, it's like I'm a rebel for life though, because I'm still not just totally conforming to, what everybody at the church does and, that kind of thing. But many parts of me have changed. And I don't have to wear a black leather jacket. I love, I perform, I sing, I dress in my gowns and my diamonds and things like that. So
Here's one thought, Judd. This came to me from what you just shared. If you like that, leave your signature on the life you lead, or write your signature on the life you lead, something like that. From what you shared, because I hear you, there's a little resistance to being put in a box, right? And that's the rebelliousness in, I feel you, I really do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some breathing space. This is one way you can put yourself in clarity and not be in the box, okay?
Oh, girl, I love what you're saying.
Yeah, be in clarity, but not in a box. Because I'm working with what you gave me with the Signature Life Solutions.
Okay.
I don't think you know how powerful this signature thing can be. So what if all the sides of you that help those same sides in your audience were under that Signature Life umbrella? You could create programs, books, coaching, whatever you want. The signature of a rebel, the signature of a woman, the signature of a businesswoman, the signature of a leader, etc.
Girl, I love you. Yes.
Does that feel like you?
Absolutely. It does. I mean, because I played I played Charlotte in Charlotte's Web. I played, Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar. That's who I am, and I was fully present in all of that.
The signature of a performer.
Yeah, of a wife. All of that.
So imagine then your audience just got bigger yet specific, because your audience can then be people who want to identify differently. They need to leave their mark / signature, right? They need to be unique, or they are unique and they want to be encouraged in that way. So what can bring those things together is, maybe, are you guys seeing this fit like puzzle pieces? Because I know sometimes it's really conceptual for me. But I'm seeing leave your signature in the life you lead, or write your signature in the life you lead. Maybe it's leave, I'm not sure. You're helping all kinds of women, and you're not limiting yourself to which types. You're speaking from real experience, all the aspects of you that cannot be defined by one label, right? So you get to, this is your unique signature. Like, embrace that, Cheryl, this is your unique signature on what God's given you. And you have all this freedom to speak to the signature of a fill in the blank.
Yes. Yes.
Did we remove some confusion?
You gave me hope, because I kept feeling like I'm going to have to leave something out. And I felt like that's leaving part of my arm off. It's like, but I can't, and I'm not saying that I need to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
It's just, I had a room full of women, and some of them were very meek and mild, and some of them were rebellious, and some of them, and what I brought to them hit home for all of them. And so I didn't want to just have a room full of rebels trying to reel them in,
Right. So the ones who are rebels, they'll understand. See, here's your greater message then, is that I'm going to be the person that helps you leave your signature on whatever life you lead, which your content then would need to be focused on uniqueness, individuality, kind of the same thing, creativity, the multifaceted, some of the things you mentioned or your experience. I identify with that, the musical side and the whatever. And they can seem like scattered personalities, but it's just different talents, different interests. So you can be the encouragement to them that it's all good. Yeah. Whichever it is you're into, we're going to help you leave your signature. Yeah.
Impact. I mean, those were some of my major words. People want to leave an impact. They want to have their life stand for something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's, yeah.
So it could be, I help women embrace their uniqueness and leave their signature on the life they lead. And then the tagline is leave your signature, or write your signature, create your signature, something like that.
With your signature on the life you lead, or just leave your signature?
Either way. I mean, I had clarity on that, leave your signature on the life you lead.
Yeah.
All on its own.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Let me know how that works out. And I know we're over time, guys, and I have 2 other people. I'm fine to stay on. I just want to be conscious of, you may not want to be here all night and whatever, but I think there's some good stuff happening. The spirit is moving here. So if you want to stay on, let's stay on. I'm here for you. And if you want to jump off, I get that too. And I think I only had 2 other people say they wanted to move forward. Hold on a second. Shalanda, you asked me what yours was. I believe it was pouring into others with love and compassion to create purposeful, genuine leaders. Fill your cup on purpose. Look at the juicy stuff happening in here. And every brand is different, but do you guys notice how many of the women in particular had very similar targets, similar coaching businesses, similar even approaches, similar outcomes you want, but yet you all sound very different now, which is the idea, right? That's awesome. Pappy, I know that you came up in here, so I'm going to call on you next. And I know that Elisa, you wanted in as well. So Gregory, what do you have?
Well, I'm just sitting here listening, saying if I could update my tagline and everything else. I mean, you know, I deal with combat veteran men. And, yeah, I mean, I've been writing pages of what you ladies are talking about.
Don't be stealing these ladies' ideas.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read you what I've been listening and hearing, and I'll read you what I've put down here.
Yeah, what do you have?
I lead combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PTSD, releasing the confident, purposeful man they were meant to be, leaving their signature on life they live with purpose.
Okay, that's like a blend of everybody's message, and I get why you did that, because I know your brand. So the first part, slow it down for me for a second. So you lead combat veteran men. What's the next part?
Combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PTSD.
Okay. So I have a question. Is that the only thing you help them heal from? Doesn't make a difference to me? Or do you think there's more?
Well, PTSD is the main focus, but in all reality, it's all our problems are between the 6 inches between our ears. So
Yeah.
my main focus on everything I'll be doing is the root cause of problems.
Right. And I know you are very much a proponent of mindset and brain activity and minding your mind and training your brain and that, right? So what was the next part after Rise Above and Heal from PSD? What was your next bit?
Releasing the confident, purposeful man they were meant to be.
So you serve Christian combat veteran men or not just Christians?
Well, that my business is Victory as a Veteran Coach, but I mean, it started out, if you remember, it started out Christian veteran men, and then I niched it down. I mean, I niched down about 5 times before I finished all of it, got to where I am now. And it finally went down to, Christian combat veteran men. But,
and combat veterans are different from just veterans, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Very different.
Well, if they've been in combat, they've been through trauma.
Right.
I mean, if you're in the service, you kind of go through a trauma anyway. But
yeah.
But there's a difference in sitting back in a safe zone and being out there and seeing, excuse me, ladies, but people blown away, I mean, it leaves a mark.
Yeah.
But then, it's just like the Bible says, nobody's gone through, any trials or anything that others hadn't already been through. So nothing's new under the sun.
Well, you just said something that might be powerful in your message, which is create a safe zone. And we can talk about it. Like that first part you said, I lead combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PSD. Very clear. If that's all you said, very clear. Emotionally, it might connect more, I think, but you know your audience better. I help combat veteran men create a safe zone to rise above and heal from PTSD. Is that any more effective for you, or is that just me making up words?
No, say that again.
I help or I lead combat veteran men to rise above and heal from, what did I say?
Safe zone.
So it could be, I create a safe zone for combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PTSD. So I create a safe zone. Cheryl's into it. What do you think?
A safe zone, combat veteran men.
Yeah.
To heal, to rise above, or what? To heal, what did you say? To heal from PTSD?
Yeah, I just read back what you shared. Your first sentence was, I create a safe zone for combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PTSD. And we may change that end part, but I'm just echoing your first line because it is clear. What did you have? Let me step back for a second, if you can be patient for a sec.
Well, I lead combat veteran men to rise above and heal from PTSD, releasing the confident, purposeful man they were meant to be, leaving their signature on the life they lead.
Okay. So of all the thoughts we've compartmentalized here, I like that release confident, purposeful men. How about, this will be bad before it's good. I create a safe zone for combat veteran men to become confident, to rise above, hold a second, to maybe rise above is getting poetic now that we have a nice option you gave here. I create a safe zone for combat veteran men to become confident and purposeful as they heal from PTSD, or create a safe zone for combat veteran men to heal from PTSD and become confident, purposeful men. We've said men twice. Do you want me to say any of that again?
Yes, ma'am, please.
I create a safe zone for combat veteran, let's say combat veterans for now.
I can say combat veterans.
Yeah. I create a safe zone for combat veterans to become, to heal from PTSD and become confident, purposeful men. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
So what we took out was the rise above part. We added in this safe zone. Here's how you could use that if you like this, and you'll tell me. Creating a safe zone then. Your sleep guide, your mindset stuff, if everything was based on, I'm creating a safe zone for them to share, for them to be vulnerable, for them to work in your community, in your Facebook group, for them to feel heard, protected, like everything that comes into a safe zone, you would know better than I do.
Right.
And
yeah, that matches perfect. Wow.
Like, to me, this sounds like calming and comforting versus traumatizing.
Yeah, well, that's why I was trying to redo, because I don't know if you remember in the first, I had the PTS nightmares or horrific words,
Yeah.
Negative words, and that's why I'm sitting here listening to y'all, trying to figure out a message that feels comfortable, feels safe, because if you have PTSD, you're not going to just go out and start talking to anybody.
Yeah.
But okay, so what you have down is, I create a safe zone for combat veterans to heal from PTSD and become confident, purposeful men.
Yeah.
I like that. You're so great, lady.
Does that say what you want it to say or what you need it to say? Because speaking of comfort zones, this is out of mine, right? This is out of my comfort zone because this is a life I've never led. So I just want to honor, are we saying the right thing? Because I'm guessing these bruised men want to feel safe, want to feel heard, they want to heal, and they want to know that you get them. And what we often do is draw attention to the hurt part so that they get that we understand them. My approach would be different, is that I want to encourage you. I'm the lighthouse for you. So
that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's why I said, came and to listen to you, because when we did it, we didn't have a question and answer session.
Yeah.
And I figured somebody is surely to come up with something that would trigger something. I didn't know you was going to call on me. I was just listening. But yeah, that is, I mean, that hit the nail on the head. Holy cow.
Oh, good. I love that response. So if you want, and I'm not saying you need to change anything you've done if that's not something you want to or feel led to do, you could name your Facebook community the Safe Zone.
Fantastic.
And you can educate me another time on all that comes into what goes into a safe zone. But man, if I believe if I needed what you offer, going into the safe zone would sound pretty good.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah. And it's just like your little sticky notes. I love it.
Enter the safe zone with Gregory or Pappy, whichever you're using.
It doesn't matter.
Or welcome to the safe zone. This is a safe space, like that kind of thing. And still has that military feel without looking at the negative part of it.
Well, yeah, because you're either in the safe zone or you're in the firing line. I mean, on the firing line.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's, you know, they know what the safe zone is. I mean.
Okay, so then they get it, and they know that you get them just with that. So
that's fantastic.
I think we did it. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
You're amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's do one more. Thank you guys for holding in here. You must be titillated enough to stick around. Alisa, is that how you say your name, or is it Alyssa?
Alisa.
Alisa. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I am brand new. The community that I want to serve married women who may be neglected or abandoned within the confines of marriage. What I have for a message is I affirm and reaffirm married women who have lost their voice, confidence, identity, and self-worth by teaching them to rediscover or redefine their core belief system by assertively advocating for their authentic, divinely designed purpose. And for tagline options, I have be happy or just be you.
Okay, I'm gonna need a repeat there on some of it. So give it to me all again.
I know it's a lot. I know. Okay. I affirm and reaffirm married women who have lost their voice, confidence, identity, and self-worth by teaching them to rediscover or redefine their core belief system by assertively advocating for their authentic, divinely designed purpose.
Okay. I'm going to share with you what came up with a couple of other people here too, is there's a way to get all of that across and focus just on the positive outcome. So I hear you when you're saying, like, I hope I help you. You've lost your voice. You've lost your confidence. You've lost your identity. You've lost your self-worth. In a brand message, it's not that that's untrue, but you want to focus on what do you help them gain? Like that's going to position you better to them. And then in all of your marketing, absolutely, you get the opportunity to say, have you lost your voice? Do you feel inconfident? Have you, you're not sure who you are anymore? Have you lost your self-worth? Like all those bullet points on a sales page kind of thing can come into play. So I would encourage you to remove the negative part of that. I don't mean that you're being a downer about it. It's just, it's a negative connotation that we can focus on the positive and they'll know, right? Like they'll know, like we just did with Pappy, welcoming people to the safe zone we took out all of the stuff that was the stuff they're very familiar with where they are. So I love the part about core beliefs, purpose, advocating for themselves, that kind of thing. So how do you feel about focusing there on, if I come to Elisa, what does she help me do? She helps me identify my core beliefs, find my purpose, advocate for myself. That kind of thing is powerful to know that that's how you help people.
Absolutely.
So of all of that, and I like that you're really clear on you're helping married women, specifically these women. What's the most important thing you think they could emerge with after they work with you?
The things that I would like to target are the abandonment. The most important thing is the abandonment within the confines of marriage. And that's the sticky subject, and it's definitely an elephant in the room. I know that.
Yeah.
However, it's a need. It's a huge need because so many women, they don't have the support that they need if they are dealing with abandonment issues within the confines of their marriage. And it definitely is an elephant in the room because a lot of people won't talk about it, won't deal with it. And so, I mean, and it, abandonment, it could stem from the orphan spirit, from childhood traumas that leak into marriages. But again, especially in the church, I didn't say Christian women, of course, that would be my huge interest, but however, didn't want to close it down to exclude anyone who would need, the support as well. Because I don't think it has any, it doesn't have any specifics, abandonment, neglect, those type of things. They don't pick and choose who they want to affect, so to speak.
Okay, so tell me if this approach is accurate. If the outcome was, so I'm looking at what's the opposite of abandonment. And if we want to say specifically people who've been abandoned within their marriages, then we say that. But for now, if I were to flip that, I think if you tell them you help them feel cherished, feel heard, and uplifted, it's not a complete thought yet, but I help married women reaffirm their self-worth to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted, that kind of thing. Am I in the right direction?
Yes, that's definitely the part of the expected outcome.
I know we're missing a lot of the key things that you want to share. I know that. Because I don't want to minimize, if the abandonment thing is the biggest issue you're addressing, I don't want to minimize it or dance around it. But we do want it to be encouraging for people who say, well, how is Elisa going to help me? Is it accurate then to say I help married women, let me break this up, I help married women reaffirm their self-worth, etc.? Or do we need to put in something I help? There'd be another word for this. It's not abandoned married women because they're not left on the roadside. They're just alone. They still feel alone in their marriage. So would you rather say I help something married women, like a description of them, reaffirm their self-worth or reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted?
So we need an adjective.
Maybe it could be frustrated married women, or could just be women. It could be just married women. I help married women reaffirm their, where was I? reaffirm their purpose, as you mentioned purpose for sure, reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted. Do you like that part, cherished, heard, and uplifted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I also like self-identity, because so many times when you get engulfed in, you know, lots of things, you do lose yourself. Sometimes women lose themselves in the midst of those type of situations. And to rediscover that, I think, is astronomical. I think, is very important.
How about this? I help married women rediscover their worth and reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted.
Rediscover their worth.
So I'll say that part again. I help married women rediscover their worth and reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted.
Yes.
And I don't want to force this on you if it's not feeling like it fits. But where I came up with that is trying to fit in the empowerment part, the encouragement, the uplifting, the thing that's missing. If you're abandoned, no one is cherishing you. You don't feel special. You don't feel heard. You don't feel loved, which is all the stuff you should be feeling in your marriage. And you didn't sign up for this other nonsense. Right? So to me, we've now removed the need to have a description of the married woman, because if you're a married woman who feels like you don't know what your purpose in it anymore, you've lost your identity, you feel uncherished, all of that, I don't need another word to tell me, to describe me. Married women, I help married women rediscover their worth and reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted. I like it as it is, but do you feel it's missing something?
No, I think it covers everything that I forestated.
Okay. I think it's clear. I think it's strong.
Yes.
And then if you want a tagline, maybe it's be cherished, be uplifted.
Okay. Now let me ask
Carol's very encouraging.
Yes. I like that. I do like that. So now, does that fit with becoming her voice? Because that's what I've titled my program.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the name of your program?
Becoming her voice.
Becoming her voice. It doesn't fight it, but we didn't mention anything about finding her voice or giving her a voice in this message. If you want to keep becoming her voice, then I need to change what we just did. Like what?
I probably was talking too fast. I apologize. I probably.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. It doesn't fight the message, but it's not echoed in the message either.
Exactly. So, that's why I asked.
Yeah. Well, here's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Becoming her voice is more powerful for your audience, I think, if it's finding your voice or speaking in your voice. Like if I were saying to you, become your voice, I know where you're going with that, versus becoming her voice. Who's her? Do you know what I mean? Like speaking directly to your customer, becoming your voice. Mm-hmm. Or am I misunderstanding how you want it to sound?
No, I understand where you're coming from. Yes, I understand where you're coming from.
Here's
So I need to come up with a different.
Not necessarily. I just checked what I have here. So one option is, instead of rediscover your worth, it could be, I help married women rediscover their voice and reaffirm their purpose to feel cherished, heard, and uplifted. That might work better for the program you have. The worth is implied with feel cherished. So I think you could swap that if you think that fits. Rediscover their voice. And then my approach would be to call your program Rediscover Your Voice.
Rediscover your voice. Okay.
Like, I don't think that's far off what you had, but
Right.
It matches now.
Right. Absolutely.
How do you feel about that whole thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do like that.
Okay, so then one thing I would change, I'm just looking here, one thing I'd change in the tagline is be heard, be cherished. Because the voice part was important to you, and I didn't put that in the first time.
Yes.
Be heard, be cherished.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Did we get it?
Yes, thank you so very much. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. You are an awesome cheerleader.
Yes, she is an awesome cheerleader.
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
yes,
Okay,
you.
did I miss anybody? I mean,
Joy.
I know Joy. Okay, Joy. Let's get it, because I know, well, Friday night, you're my Friday night date.
Really late, but I really appreciate it because I had to work and I just got to hop on.
Okay, Joy, what do you have?
So mine is helping women learn how to live in a life of authentic joy, no matter what. So living in circles of joy instead of cycles of joy, those highs and lows, and getting past the past in order to live in those cycles of joy. And I've narrowed it down to women in the age range, but I just don't have my line that I need. And my tagline, I've thrown that around as well. So mine is not as solid as it needs to be.
What's your tagline?
Live in your overflow was one that I came up with, and the other one was pursue joy.
Okay. Well, I think you're almost there. Here's what might work for you. Let me make a note here. Okay, helping women get past the past to live in overflowing joy. Live in your overflow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, like that's what I have, other than I didn't have that. Say it again.
Helping women get past the past to live in overflowing joy. Live in your overflow.
Okay, so what about the circles of joy? That's like my program name.
Yeah, so you don't have to put the circles of joy in there, and your program still makes sense. And I loved when you said last time, circles of joy versus cycles of joy. I think that's brilliant. And I think you keep that in your program, and it's something that you say often, totally fine. But the message, I mean, this was a really short and sweet one, but it's clear. Helping women get past the past to live in overflowing joy. Live in your overflow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody likes it. Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know you have programs. I know you have a website and all of that. And you're one of those that your name is in your company. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Live in your overflow. You know that story about my cup is overflowing and I can feed you from my saucer?
Yes, yes,
Right? Like,
yes.
take all the sips you want. I've got more where that came from.
One more quick question. I'm changing the name of my business because it's currently Jahi Coaching and Consulting, which to me is too much of a mixture.
Yeah.
So I've been tossing around Authentic Joy because that's the title of my book. But I also tossed around Abundance of Joy LLC. Like, and I'm still trying to. That was my biggest struggle this weekend when I did my report, because I don't want to loosen. I don't want to release it, but I need to, and I know that I need to. So I'm trying to come up with a better name for my company.
Your company could be Circles of Joy.
Like, oh my gosh, I had that wrote down, but I was like, well, is that the business or the? I love Circles of Joy.
Joy is showing up everywhere. There's just circles of joy everywhere, and it's you. I like that.
Okay, I'll ponder that again, but because I had that wrote as one of my three, so I'll ask God. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, we got everybody, right? We got everybody.
Yay! Thank you, guys.
Praise the Lord. I am so excited about, I don't know how many we did that are all different, all clear, all powerful, all uplifting for your audience, and like most importantly, all different. Like, I think that's important, and not different just because we want to be kooky, but different because you're unique. What you do is unique. How you do it is unique. Your audience is unique. And now we've wrapped all of that up into some words that sound nice, right? Okay. Yes, Gregory.
One question right then, she's Circles of Joy. She was just talking about changing her, business name. But when she said that, I sit there and it can't, just my business name is Victory as a Veteran, and, I was just thinking about that safe zone.
So your business name, up to you if you want to change it. It's not like Victory as a Veteran is misleading or wrong or that you don't do that anymore. It's still accurate for what you do. I guess if it's a registered business name, you got to deal with it. Oh, it's not. Okay.
Not yet, no.
So you have the opportunity
to change it.
To change it if you want to. I would, because the more things line up, the nicer it is for you and for your audience. But it's, like I said, what you have, it's not that it isn't the same business or anything. Right. So if you really like, the safe zone with Gregory Henderson, you could change it to the safe zone. I mean, enter the safe zone to experience victory as a veteran. You could get all crazy with it, but the more clear with fewer messages we can do, the better.
Yeah. So if you sit there and it like the safe zone with veterans, or the veterans safe zone. You've already done my lead magnet, so you know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah. So when you say the name of your business, what would you be thinking of changing, if anything? Are you changing?
Well, I'm not. I mean, it's just that, that safe zone kind of hit here with me, when we brought it up. I mean, I didn't even realize I said it and you caught it.
You said it. Yeah.
I mean,
I really like the idea of safe zone, and I don't want to make work for you because victory as a veteran is not incorrect. Like, you know.
I understand that completely, but I mean, it just something hit me whenever she was talking about, you know, circles of joy, and I sit there and go, well, heck, safe zone, you know, we're
Well, you get to run the business and you get to decide. So from my perspective, if safe zone really hit you and is a phrase that you just really connect with and your tribe will connect with,
well, would you go on and instead of just safe zone, veteran safe zone? I mean,
yeah, you could, like for your Facebook group, especially, the veterans safe zone, probably.
okay.
The veterans safe zone. You could say the combat veteran safe zone. Like, I know you use that phrase a lot, the combat veteran. And it might, you tell me if that's meaningful for them to know it's just for them, then you do want to say so.
Well, that's where most of the PTSD comes from. But any veteran and any military person, I mean, all of the people that are in the military now, they're going through some kind of PTSD, whether they want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
And when they come out, they are definitely going to, because it's just like when I came out, I couldn't even sit there and talk to my mom and dad. I couldn't relate to them anymore, you know. And so, I mean, when I came out, it wasn't, you know, we called it shell shock and stuff like that. I mean, it was years after I came out, well, 8 years before they ever sit there and labeled it PTSD.
Yeah.
And it was called battle fatigue and all sorts of things. So, you know, but veteran safe zone, that, you know, I could call.
I think you're right. You've turned me around here. I think it needs to say the combat veterans safe zone, an emphasis on safe zone. So design wise, I would want to see the combat veterans safe zone because that's the biggest thing they're going to feel good about. But yes, I agree, being specific because their needs are specific and you do understand them. They need to know you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that helps.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you and thank everybody for letting me ask that.
Okay, let's wrap up. Thank you everyone for sticking it out. I think we did some really cool stuff.
You are amazing.
Thank
it's
you.
like watching poetry. I could sit here all night. I'm starving, but I could sit here all night and watch you do this.
I'm starving too. I didn't eat yet either. This is very fun for me. And I thank you all for sharing what your businesses are about and being as clear as you were, because I mean, like I said, it's not a magic trick, but it's easier to pull these things out when you know what it is you solve, who you serve, what makes you different. And not everyone has that nailed down yet. I mean, as business owners, not everyone is that clear. And I think you all were. So that allows me to run with that a little bit. And we built these together. So really happy with what we all created here. And now you can all like move on, right?
Yes. Now, are we going to get a copy of it? Can we get, because I was trying to write down as fast as I could what you said, but I didn't get it all.
I got.
Oh, I meant like the recording or whatever.
Oh, the recording. Well, I believe that this is made available to all of you for a reason.
Okay.
Because there were lots of people who weren't here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the replay is available to you guys.
Yes.
And well, why don't we do this? Let Ron know what happened in here and post in the group what your new brand message is. I'm going to make a post in there and you can pop your stuff under and make that declaration, because you may be tempted to change what you've created, and that's totally up to you, completely up to you. It's your business. But know that we did this purposefully, right? There is a little bit of a formula, and I'm here to help you with that, but you can change it, but I don't think you're going to have to. So really question yourself. If you start feeling, I want to change it if you feel you have to. But don't necessarily change it for the sake of changing it, I guess is what I want to say, because you can get a thesaurus out and come up with something different for sure. But I want you to have peace of mind that you have solved this. That I believe you solved it. You need to believe that too. I mean, I think the Holy Spirit was working here to help us get clarity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, good night, guys. Cheryl, I'm going to go eat. I hope you go eat.
I am.
Ron's back.
Hey, I just happened to walk in and I can't believe you guys were still going talking about over delivery on part of Julia Baxter. Holy cow.
Ron, we stayed on so everybody got their message.
Julia, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the floor. I think we had a good time.
It looks like it. How was Julia tonight, guys?
Wild.
Oh, wow.
Wild.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
Carol
So
needs an
good.
award for the best cheerleader face, I think.
Oh, I know.
Unbelievable.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out. Give a big thanks to Julia and the group. We love you, Julia. Have a good night. And
Thanks, everybody.
see you
Ron,
Monday.
I'm going to post in the group and so that they can drop their brand message below and you can see what they are.
Okay, awesome. Looking forward to it.
Great.
Okay, good night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks,
Good
Ron.
Good night.